Hello, guys, and welcome to Reaction and Principal Gaming. I'm Mr. Max, and most of you is gonna know that, but those kind of video with the slide, if you know, right? Just like I'm doing those live, but just because that's how I do thing. But those video are intended to go outside my regular audience. So make sure to like and share and subscribe. And also, this is the first time I'm trying to stream on Twitch in the same time, and this is gonna be a short stream. You know how it goes when I do the slide thing. It's I'm trying to make a point across, so the video are shorter. And if there's comment and chat, like this is not announced, and now I'm doing that in the middle of the night, so I don't expect anybody to show up. But if there's comments, I'm gonna address them after I went to the slide. So lately, I've been watching to a lot of my friend Crispy, right, from the channel Table Runner, doing those unsighted advice video, which are great. You should look at the Table Runner channel if you want. And I've seen like a lot of like stuff that I with the GM in those game being done that I find like atrocious. And I say it's time that I do one of those video giving GM advice, because why not, right? So level up as a GM. And what this is not going to be about, I'm not going to tell you the same tired advice that you always hear, right? I'm not going to tell you how to tell a great story. I'm not going to tell you how to do cool character voices, how to write a big plug, or how to world build like a pro, right? What I'm going to tell you is going to be much more important than all those things. I'm not going to give you like narrative, I'm not going to pick up a book of how to write a good story, like narrate, like people do that want to be author, and lift advice from that and tell you that it applies to role playing, because it doesn't. It's a different thing that we do. So, what I'm going to tell you about, the first thing, one of the most essential skill. The oh, you can barely see me. Am I filming at candlelight? Here, let me put some light. I was filming at just like screen light. I thought it was cozy. Whoop. The So one of the most important skill as a GM is to shut up. When you're a GM, you need to learn to shut up sometime and let your player play, right? Let your player talk. I say learn to remain silent. When you're the GM, you shouldn't do like most of the talking. You see that? Like there was a game that was watching the other night, right? And the GM was talking and talking and talking and talking. And every time one player would talk, the GM would talk twice or thrice as much afterward, right? Stop that. It's a bad habit. You should do in the whole session, you should do less than 50% of the talking, and maybe aim to do like one share of the talking. There's 5 people around the table, do one, like including you, the GM, do 1/5 of the talking, right? That might be a hard one to achieve, but you should get closer to that than doing like what we see sometimes, like 90% of the talking. Learn to shut up. When the player take their turn and they say what their character does, don't rephrase everything. Don't say like, oh, I go to the guy and I take my sword and and swing at him. Oh, so you go to the guy and you swing it, like, hey, the player took his turn. Like you don't have to do like don't act like the turn you took wasn't cool enough, so let me re-narrate it in my own voice, right? Don't do that. Like you're wasting everybody's time at the table, and it's kind of disrespectful as well, right? The character is role playing his character, so let him play his character, and don't narrate every little thing as well. It's okay. We get it. Like you can make description, and like sometimes people would do like description in advance, right? You have like service they do now, like called like describe, right? You can get those professionally written like description. Like stop doing that. Tell us what's important. Get the flow of the game going, right? You're not there to read a story to your player. So talk less. Most GM talk way too much, and it's annoying. Don't be a control freak. Like it's not your world. It's the world of the campaign, right? I often say that, right? And the campaign belong to all the player at the table, right? We're all in there together. So stuff like, and that goes also with the railroading stuff, right? Let player do stuff, let player like contribute to the what's happening. The their character lived in that world, right? So then they're supposed to know something about the world. If they come up with something, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. People are mistaken sometime, that's fine, right? Just like, but don't like go actually the player all the time, right? Don't turn your player into an audience member, right? Don't have your invite your friend there at your house to read them, to tell them about this cool story that you taught, right? You're there to play a game with them. When I say there, you're not there to impress your friends, right? You see that a lot. Like some, it looks like you look at those games being played, and the GM like they appear that they just want to be like impress their friend or a clever boy they are, right? How well they can describe a scene. So they have like those green text, like those green books, right? Those pre-written description, and then like they're gonna read that with this a lot of flourish and very like elaborate language, right? Just like, and then it's gonna go on and on and on, and they're gonna have those little details that they're gonna paint you a picture, and it's fucking boring. We're there to play a game, like there's supposed to be stuff happening, right? And even that they do that in combat, and it slow the combat down, or an action scene, right, of some sort, and it slow the pace to a crawl, right? It's awful. Let the thing happen. Like if you're an action scene, things should happen fast. So description need to be short. And you know what? The characters, they're in the action scene. They don't have time to smell the flower, right? They don't have time to look at all the little intricate detail on the door that's just shut off, or the port cutis, right? That just closed down behind them while they're running away, right? So keep your description short, right? They don't get all those detail. And like I said, like you're not there to show how clever you are. You're not there to show how imaginative you are either, right? People like want they have this clever story they want to tell, and they're gonna force their players through it because it's such a good story. No, no, it's gonna be so good. Stop that. You're there to play a game. So that's another big advice I would say. Like, don't be like the most important one. Learn to shut up, and then like let go of the control, right? Respect your player. Like, don't impose a game. You're it's not a game even, like a story time on your friend. And that's another one I would say, like relax, it's just a game. When I say that, it's like I see a lot of like GM, they put this pressure on them, and they think they need to be like so good and so clever and impress their like it goes back to the impressing their friend, right? They want to be like remember as this top GM. They want to be told about like, oh man, this guy was the best GM I ever had. He had all those cool stories and stuff like that. You're not there for that, right? You're there to play a game with your friend. And sometime one session is gonna be mid, right? They're not all gonna be banger, but that's all right, right? And your friend should accept that as well. If your friend give you shit for having like a bad session once in a while, right? A session that, you know what, I come up with something on the spot. It wasn't the coolest thing. It was kind of stupid in afterward, but you cut me with my pants down, so I had to come up with something, right? And your friend give you shit with that. They have to understand too that you're there to play a game as well, and part of the game is like making stuff on the spot, right, and reacting to the thing. If they want their character to be free to act, if they want to be free to have player agency and control their character as they want, they have to accept that sometime you're gonna have to come up with stuff on the fly. Most of the time, I would say you should, and then sometime it's not gonna be like the best thing ever, right? The opposite of that, if they want you to always have this super like elaborate story, super creative and stuff like that, then you have to take the control away from them, and then you're not playing a game anymore. If you're there to play a game, if you're like you should be, then you need to approach it as you're playing a game. And when I say experiment and try new thing, that's also part of that, right? Just like get out of your comfort zone, right? Like stop doing the prep, let thing happen, right? Let player like throw you a curveball. Why not? And embrace it and run with it. So I think those are things that are very important to know as a GM, right? Those three things: learning to shut up, letting go of control, and understanding that you're there to play a game. Those three things super important as a GM. and I don't see them talk nearly enough about, right? Like I said in the beginning, people are going to tell you about like how to construct a plot and an interesting narrative and creating memorable NPCs and doing those voice and stuff like that. Some of it is good, some of it is bad, in my opinion, but all of it is much less important than those other three things that I just talked about now. Thank you for watching. Now is the end of the content. I have some comments there for some people that don't sleep, apparently. I'm gonna go through it, but if you're just there for the pure content, that was it. 10 minutes, I'm done. That was what I was aiming for. So look at that. I haven't got like super chat from my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning for $5. Say, are you going to embrace gaming another comedy game? Yes, at some point now it will happen. I cannot like let this disaster go, right? Sometimes you messed up on something and you try again, right? So yeah. Flame Zombie was saying, hello, hello, doing some more reloading. Just done so smoking my pipe, man. You're gonna reload so much, and yeah, for 15 there in Australia, I guess it's good doing a stream in the middle of the night for people that are on the other side of the planet, right? Yeah, Mark's living the dog voice a bit, yeah. I just talk about that in the vid that's uploading. I'm oh, there you go. Don't read box text after box text. Yeah, you see, we watched the same game yesterday, right? So we were coming up with the same thing that need to be said. It's becoming pretty obvious that a lot of these how to be a better GM people don't even follow their own advice. That's also something that I see. And you know, I have game on my channel, and if you're watching, if somebody watched that on Twitch, right? That's new thing. I didn't announce anything. Make yourself known in chat. I don't even know what this site works, to be honest. But anyway, on my YouTube channel, Reactionary Principle Gaming, we have like games that we upload, and I think if you look at those games, I think you could say that the advice we give, we follow, right? That's part of the reason why we started uploading those games, is because we want to show, like, you know, we give advice, we talk about theory, we do theory crafting about role-playing game. Let's show how it looks in practice, right? And we went and we started uploading games, and that was a thing. Flames on B say, I wrote a linguistic paper on this actually. Turn taking is a natural conversion. Yeah, that's true. It's a natural conversion skill. Yeah, and let's be honest, a lot of like nerds in the hobby don't have natural conversion skill. It reminds me of editor that edit not just for grammar but style too. You don't want to emulate the author style. Yeah, I heard you were sick. All right, so well, thank you for actually like Doodle Squash and Flame Zombie, and my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning for showing up live, like when it's just like I'm just showing the show like that. And thank you for everybody that other people also. I see that a few more people there that are silent in chat. So everybody that watched live, everybody that's gonna watch on the replay, everybody that's gonna comment, and if you think this could be helpful to new GM, when you see like people like asking like, oh, I want to start GMing and stuff like that, I'm not too sure, send them those video, right? I make those shorter video for them to be like more digestible and a little more condensed, because oftentimes I ramble on and on and on tear off your skin with my buddies. But there's I want to have like some shorter form content, right? That are more sharing and more straight to the point. All right. Take care, guys. I'll see you some other time. I don't know when. Take care.